This cat is trying to adopt us. He's trying very hard for us to start taking him in. And he's very vocal. Probably didn't hear him though. Well, here we are. We made a massive trip Friday to go get this trailer. And we used this semi-accidental purchase from another auction. As you can see, I had to replace the pintle hitch here because the commercial semi-pintle hitch is 2 3/8, I think, or something like 2 1/3. And the military uses a 3-inch pintle. So that was a modification I had to make to get this to work. As you can see, we've got the 24-volt inter-vehicle connection cable. This trailer is in rough shape, and we didn't do the brakes. Turns out GovPlanet had been using it for 4 years as an office on their property because the military didn't include the right paperwork with it when they shipped it to GovPlanet. So it didn't exist. They couldn't sell it for quite a while. Probably creative accounting, I'm not sure. We did have to unmount the spare tire and put it down because the valve stem, which should be right here, broke off on the back roads coming across to eastern Colorado. So yeah, it was quite the journey. We went down, left here at 2 o'clock in the morning, and Google says it's a 5-hour drive. I gave myself 7. I barely made it. It was a lot longer coming back, which was probably okay because there was only a couple hours to cross eastern Wyoming where the wind wasn't blowing 50 miles an hour, in which case this trailer would have been blown off the road because it was empty. But yeah, here it is. What's really nice about this is that I have a whole bunch of building materials that are here taking up space that would otherwise be used for more important things, but that are now inside this trailer. It's about 3/4 full, and we're going to take it over this morning and park it on our property next to the rest of our Quonset hut to have it all in one place. And this is going to kind of be our tool shop and storage facility and on our new property. So let's get into this trailer. This is I think it's an M129AC, something like that, AC2, something like that. Anyway, I'm thinking they got the designation kind of messed up. Sometimes that happens. Because as we crawl under here, you'll note that that is not an air brake chamber of the normal kind, and you can see the hydraulic lines going in right there. So each axle has its own air brake chamber operating hydraulic brakes. So that dates this trailer quite a bit older. And of course, we all have that nice big spring suspension under here and then NDT tires. I have not applied air. As you saw, the glad hands are broken on one side. I have not applied air to this trailer because I'm concerned the brakes will go on once, never come off again, and that's not what I'm prepared to deal with. It's kind of neat though. You get wheel chock storage right there, and you got landing pad storage right here for the landings gear. And I will include a couple of still pictures I took in the video of the interior when it was cleaned out. But it has both 24-volt and 12-volt lighting systems. So you can pull this with a regular semi. I added some reflectors on there because we ended up traveling very much at night. Of course, you can see splattered WD-40 on all the moving components, because if you ever buy anything old from the military, bring WD-40, spray everything. It's just easier. But the hubs didn't get warm at all. The valve stem tire that blew was this tire. That's where it was at anyway. That's the original outside tire. So when we had the guy from Love's Trucking come in, great guy. We talked to quite a bit. He was really happy because by the time he got there, I had it jacked up and everything in the spare tire was leaning right over here against the other tire and ready to go. I just lacked the appropriate sockets to take these bud wheels off. As you can see, there's a square headed and a very large lug nut there, and I just lacked those tools, but it was the easiest job he had all night. So, at any rate, you can see they've got plenty of side marker lights, both 12 and 24 volt. There's the landing pad storage for this side. Yeah, when we pulled that tire off, the valve stem was still laying inside the rim. It hadn't even had a chance to fall off. We caught it fast enough. So, pretty sure I can get a new inner tube put in that tire and keep using it. But in the meantime, I do have the air hoses hooked up here mainly just to keep them from flopping around and dangling. I don't have air applied to the dolly. This is a YRC dolly that I bought at auction. They went out of business and there was hundreds of them for sale over the summer or last spring. So I bought it kind of as an accidental bid. You know, one of those things where, I wonder how much these things go for. So I FANFO'd and put $150 minimum bid on it, and nobody else bid on it. And then I ended up having to figure out what the hell I was going to do with it and how I was going to get it home. I was very shocked to get down there with my big truck thinking, oh, I'm going to need air brakes and a big pintle, to find that my pintle didn't work. So it's a good thing I have that receiver hitch mounted underneath the pintle hitch. It's a very light duty one, but for that it was more than heavy duty enough, and I used a smaller receiver pintle to pull it home with until I could change out the existing one. So at any rate, had zero troubles with the truck all the way down there and back. Ran great. Didn't really use that much fuel. I mean, you know, we're coming from central Wyoming going to Colorado, southern and eastern side of Colorado Springs. The Gulf Planet lot is near the general aviation terminal of the airport. Had a little leakage from my auxiliary diesel tank, so that's what all this oil-looking stuff is the tank was sloshing, and one of my one of my caps was not completely secured, so I lost a couple gallons of diesel, maybe more, to splatter, but keeps it from rusting. New addition. I now have the ability to lock my cabs at night. Been always nervous about taking long trips and overnight trips with this thing because we couldn't lock the cabinets or lock the doors. So now I can put a padlock on there. Got a little magnet glued right here, so I can clip it back when it's unlocked and it doesn't rattle as we go down the road. Worked perfectly for the entire trip. You can see our wants to be our cat. Well, he won't get along with our existing cat, won't get along with our dog very well, but he sure wants to get along with us. I hope he belongs to somebody, because it'd be a shame if he was taken out here in the subdivision outside of town. People, when they start running out of money or have to move or whatever, and they can't take their pets, they bring him out to places like this. I'll just kind of turn around so you can see what's behind me, and just let them loose. Dogs, cats. It's kind of sad. You know, we aren't helping him go home because we've been feeding him, so not very much, just a little bit, because it's cold and it's wintertime and I can't be cruel to animals. Anyway, so here we are. Let's talk more about that trailer. As you can see, you've got windows all the way around. It is equipped with an electrical system. That's supposed to have a plug in it, and you're supposed to be able to disconnect it. However, they rewired part of the lights in there when they made it an office trailer at Gulf Planet. And needless to say, that wire goes straight through. So I'm going to look into putting a plug in on the end of it, 30 amps or something like that, for my generator, and then I'll be able to plug it in directly to my generator and use it as a turn the lights on and stuff inside. There's a nice bench. You'll see that in the pictures that they left in there. But the windows all open. They all close. One of them's missing the handle, but you can get by with a crescent wrench. Hi, walking with me now, huh? And yeah, it's, you know, for being a probably mid-60s trailer, it's actually pretty good shape. They painted the interior with latex paint over the top of the oil paint, and needless to say, it is all peeling off, but that's okay for what we're using it for. It's going to be fine. Yes, I'm very tempted to use this thing for a camper, but it's a lot to hook it up, and we'd have to put new axles and stuff under it in order to really put it to use. So I don't know what else to do with it. Here's the data plate if you're interested in the particulars of it. I have yet to get the title for it, so it's coming, but you know, typical thing. So anyway, we're gonna move this over to our storage lot, or well, someday lot, and my wife's gonna video me a little bit here. We'll get some footage of it moving and get some footage of where we park it over there in Casper. So see, this is what it looks like when it's latched back. The magnet holds it back and it doesn't rattle or dangle the whole time when you're driving down the road. It works really great. So at any rate, using the block heater because it was pretty chilly out here. Right now it's just a little over 30. So I'm going to go fire this up and we're going to go from there. Give you the ground's eye view here. Assuming the cat doesn't knock this over. Not a rubbing post, Katie. You little shit. Sat it down. The first thing she did was rub against it. Knocked it over almost. I got it, honey. You don't see me, but I'm unlocking the battery. Unlocking the other door. Wind blowing gently today from the east, which is, you know, everything's falling over because it usually blows from the west. Anyway, I'd be curious to know how much this microphone picks up the background noises. Here come the splattering beeps. Boy, that engine block heater sure makes a big difference. Turn the high idle on, let it get the air up to full pressure. Probably edit some of this out. Okay, we are at service pressure on the air. Guess I better put my seatbelt on. Lynn's gonna unplug the cord and take it away. I knew I was forgetting something. Slow the engine down so it isn't quite so loud underneath there. Thumbs up, good to go. No traffic behind me. Transmission's gonna be cold, so we're gonna be moving slow. I don't know if the microphone's going to be connected to this recorder when I get up there. One's recording me. There's the sheriff waving as he goes by. Better set the brakes though. Our local sheriff gets a kick out of all my military vehicles. Okay, here we are. Gonna record some driving video. I don't know if you can see this up here, but there's my rear views, left and or right and left side blind spot cameras. My wife is following me in my loaner car because my brand new Volkswagen's still in the shop. It's going on 2 months. Second set of parts too. It's kind of not a hopeful sign either right now, but they're thinking maybe this week, but who knows. Okay. Air brakes off. Dusty on the inside. Got myself a beverage or two. Nothing's gonna flop around. I should be good to go. Everything's up to temp. Let's see how the new camera mount works out. have to do some audio editing, I bet, because I'm going to have to sniffles. No traffic as far as the eye can see. Make sure my clamps are set. Got traffic coming at me. Normally I go that way, but I don't think I can horse this whole thing around that corner. I thought taking something out. And we're off. Gotta figure out a way to balance the tires in this thing. There's our 40 mile an hour. Womp, 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 womp. Need some kind of screen to put on the CTIS. Well, the air inlets into the rims, because they're not like a normal valve stem, you know, so that the beads don't get sucked back out when I'm lowering air pressure. Moisture on them windows. Unfortunately, it's wet, not frozen, but hey, well, maybe we'll get a little snow. Haven't gotten any rain either to speak of, so. Such is life in the high desert. During a centuries long, or once in a century drought that's been happening for a couple of years in a row. Having most of this century, anyway. Forgot the padlock for the back door, so she's gonna have to go back and get it. Almost to 50. At 50, the bounce goes away. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to start slowing down now. Watch my trailer tires, make sure I don't drive over the lines. This will be fun, turning against traffic. There's always just enough traffic here. Hard to make a left. Always just enough traffic. German prisoner of war. That was the officer's mess. This whole area back here behind us was originally a prison camp during World War II. And that's the only surviving building. Can you imagine being from Germany, probably never going more than, 100 miles from your house back in the 30s, 1930s. Fighting in a war, and the Americans capture you, they put you on a ship, put you on a train, 2 weeks later you're here in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, having traveled across more dirt, seen more cars and trucks and semis, and even in that time frame, and all that you'd ever thought possible to exist. What a trip that'd have been, huh? What's neat about the officer's mess there is that the POWs with nothing to do, they gave them paint and they painted a mural. I believe it's on the ceiling. I've actually never been in there. Shame on me. But if you're passing through and you want to take a 15-20 minute break and stretch your legs, that'd be the place to go do it. If you're into trains, they have a couple of interesting ones downtown at the Chamber of Commerce. Of course, there's a big jackalope, but we're well into tourist trap at that point. So anyway, I gotta watch all these people drive slowly around me. It's amazing how unforgiving people in small cars can be of large vehicles going uphill. Somebody's got a project. Although I think I like the Nash Metropolitan better because it was in better shape. That one's got some significant rust. Classic cars in this part of Wyoming outnumber people probably 3 or 4 or maybe even 10 to 1. It's hard to tell. Kind of notice it by the license plate numbers, how fast they go up. There's a lot more licensed vehicles than there is population. Too many people out here that are motorheads, and they're operators. They work out at the mine, or they work for the railroad, or they work in the oil field, and they have generous incomes. So their hobbies are usually pretty well funded. So wishing my luck there, hit 65. Don't want to break another valve stem. Not sure if it was how bad the road was coming across eastern Colorado, or if I was going too fast, or a combination, or if the valve stem was already damaged. But on the flatland, I was having no problem keeping it up around 60, 65 right before that valve stem broke. So I tried to keep it under 65 since then. I don't have another spare. What I thought was a spare that I had bought in a previous auction, it's wrong size tire. Wrong size rim too. But 55 mile an hour and an 80 where everybody's going 85. Thank God I'm huge. Scary as hell driving my old Jeep to Casper on this interstate. There really isn't an alternative. I mean, unless you want to drive in the dirt, on the gravel, which tips up the paint on these old vehicles, especially my Jeep. Try not to do that if I don't have to. But, I'm going 50, 55 on my Jeep, which is flat out floored in that thing. And people just don't appreciate that you're not moving as fast as they are. And when you're small, they don't move over until they're like swerving at the last second before impact. At least with a truck like this, they're like already, you know, somewhere in the crap your pants level of paying attention, and they move over long before they get into that swerve motion at the end. Ugh. Close to 60 right here, but it's only a slight uphill. We'll slow down a lot when we get to the top up here by this bridge. Now, and 90% of my viewership would tune out because this is as exciting as paint drying on a rainy or a hot, high humid cool day, you know. Very, very slow and boring. So I'm gonna pause the recording here if I can push the right buttons, and try to resume the recording when we get to our next destination. Okay, you got to avoid all of the interstate travel, and then getting on the side road, driving on the side road. Of course, wind's picked up pretty good, but the trailer's not empty today, so it's not so bad. Now we're heading out to where someday I was thinking I was going to get to live, but the way things have been going, I don't know. Take a run at the hill as much as I can. Slowly climbing. This is the part of Wyoming that ain't much to look at. You gotta look close to find something pretty. There are mountains here, but they're that way. Fair bit of drive too. The only thing I really like about the lot that we managed to get out here, besides the price, because I got a hell of a deal on it, is that it's almost at the end of the road. Nobody drives by. It's so much quieter than my lot over in Douglas. But you'll see here shortly, the road is nothing to speak of. It's all private, so it's not maintained by anybody but the people that live out here. A large portion of them don't really want to be bothered by people. So they don't want a good road. They don't want the people to come around. What you don't feel in this vehicle that my wife's probably feeling behind us in the car. They're all washboarding. My tires are a little too big to feel that much. Nice and smooth paved road, huh? Sarcasm. See if this side's any better. Nope. This side of the road's just as bad as the other side. Drive over here where the blown in sand has been silting in. Maybe that'll give me a little cushion. As you can see, all this out here is just sand dunes with sagebrush and grass growing around it. I have been surprised at how much moisture actually falls out here. I'm looking around, you think, rain? Can't do that, but really it does actually rain a bit more here than it does 10 miles south of here towards the front of the mountains. It's just because it's all sand. You know, if you could amend the soil with enough components, you know, keep the moisture in the topsoil, things would probably grow halfway decent out here. But you know, it's kind of a, that'd be kind of a millionaire's project. Certainly not somebody, not some county employee is going to get to do. Now the sharp corner. Let's see if we can do this without flipping the trailer. We're taking out the fence post. We didn't take out the fence post. And we didn't flip the trailer. Amazing. Well, there we are. Okay. Quick tour. Well, aside from the shanty farmer over here, hopefully you can hear me over the wind. Wonder if I can change the view here. There's better. That's Casper Mountain. Right over there, but where that notch is at, is where Casper's at. And we have our own little 3-acre hill over here, and another 4-acre triangle right here. One of these days, in the area, widen it out here, we want to put a Quonset hut in. Nice big shop so we can work on our vehicles and stuff. And this is where I'm going to park this for the time being. So I have all of the materials that I have already purchased. And there's our Quonset hut. It's been sitting here for a number of years. Yep. You didn't expect those to be that big, huh? Well, they're meant to keep it from sinking into the sand. They should do a good job, huh?
They should.
Yeah, that's where it was before, it looks like.
We'll get the other side.
Yeah, oh, that's what we forgot to bring.
What?
Something to put underneath the front tire. I wonder if we got any boards or laying around. Oh, I do, right over there.
I'm gonna say we got some.
That's not the ramps.
No.
Okay, anyway. So we're gonna set this up here, chalk it in place. And this is gonna be my storage / office space on my, or tool shop on my property. And then maybe we can start doing something with all this stuff out here and start making some progress. But I don't know, that's kind of dependent on how this whole YouTube thing goes. I mean, I'd certainly like to make more videos and go on more adventures and go places and see things and take pictures and make videos of it and all that. The only way that's going to work is if we get some help. Tons of subscribers. Oh, there's the wind. I'm going to go back in behind the trailer. Tons of subscribers and tons of views. Please tell your friends and everybody else about our channel, and maybe if they just all watch a video or two, we can start getting somewhere. And you know, if you really want to make a contribution, we do have a buy me a coffee link that I'll put in the description. Would really appreciate anything you want to send our way, so we can make things happen faster with more content, maybe even more entertaining. That would be good too, right? Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video so far. I'm gonna shut off so I can go help Lynn finish this job.